Hello everybody and welcome to episode 39 of the Let's Play world. I've got 3 things I want to accomplish today. 1 is I want to finish surrounding the ocean monument with glass. 2 is I want to build us another farm today. And 3, I want to finish the north side of the Waterfront Project. So let's start things off by gathering up a bunch of sand. If you remember last episode, we figured we might need just less than 1 shulker box full of sand. So I'm just going to fill this thing up and then turn it into glass, and we'll see how far we get. Interesting thing, recently I saw Rose Gold Serpent on the Mindful server. They did a Guardian farm that involved not removing the water. And that's really intriguing, but I still think I want to do it. I just think it's kind of cool to have a big void in the ocean that, we can turn into an ocean base or something like that. So even though it'll be a lot of work, I still want to do it. 1 shulker box full of sand into the furnace. And you know what? I'm only going to put half of the sand in here and save the other half for removing water. And now we take 1 partial shulker box full of glass over to the monument. Well, there we are, 100% surrounded by glass. So the next step is get all the water out of the middle here. This next part is pretty boring and obnoxious. Basically, I just need to drop sand and create these little partitions. And then once the partition goes all the way across, and then let's say I do another one here, I can then use sponges to clean out the water in between. Meanwhile, I've got these guys shooting lasers at me. So it's really annoying. One thing that is good is you can, reuse the sand. So once we get the water cleared out, we can then, reuse the sand to make another partition. So we don't have to come up with tons and tons of sand, fortunately. One thing that can be a problem is if it gets dark, things can spawn on here, so you gotta be kind of careful that you don't have creepers and zombies and things sneaking up on you. All right, there's 1 partition. I just need to create another one of those, and we can remove the water in between them. So our stack of 35 sponges almost cleared this section out. We did a pretty good job. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop into the nether to dry them back out. And we should be able to go through here. Yeah. Now that all the water is gone, of course, we need to make sure everything's lit up. And there we have 1 section cleared out. I can give you a preview here of what it will look like once the whole thing is done. We'll have this window all the way around that we can see into the ocean. It's going to be really cool. To give you an idea of the scale of this project, let me fly up above and show you how much we've done. So there you go. It's a lot of sand to place. It's a lot of sponges to place and dry out. but it's going to be really cool when we get it done. Next thing I want to do today is I want to focus on a farm. And we're going to build that farm over in our spawn chunks. Now, as I've talked about before, the spawn chunks are where we spawned initially in the world, and they are always loaded. Different parts of the world load or unload depending on whether you are present, but the spawn chunks are always loaded. So certain farms make a lot of sense. For example, our iron farm that we have back there, it's always going because this part of the world is always loaded. Today I want to build a turtle farm, and the reason I want to do that in the spawn chunks is turtle eggs tend not to mature unless you are nearby them. So if we can keep the turtle eggs in the spawn chunks, then we won't have to be here for that part. First things first, I need to clear some trees, level out the land, and then we'll get to work. I feel like we've pretty well got things cleared out. I've sort of marked out where I want things to go, and I want to build more at some point in this area. Maybe a path out to here. The turtle farm will be out in this space, and then perhaps behind the turtle farm we could build some other kind of outpost and make this area a little bit more interesting and useful. So I'm just kind of winging my turtle farm design. I'll tell you what I have in mind. I want there to be a beach where the turtles can lay their eggs, and then a bit of water. And I want the water to be flowing so that the baby turtles are kind of forced into a certain area. And that way when they grow up, we can collect the scoot that they drop. And we can use that to make turtle helmets and turtle potions and all of that. I also want there to be a lever so that I can open a gate and allow the turtles to come and go as they please. But when we're doing the breeding part and collecting the scoot, we can close it so that we don't get the baby turtles running off. That's the idea. And so I'm just going to kind of flesh that out here. I'm just using smooth stone because I want it to look sort of industrial, you know, kind of like it was government funded, poured concrete, you know, that sort of look. We can decorate with some of our other buildings and things like that, but I want this to be very utilitarian. I don't know if you've ever been to like a fish hatchery or a fish ladder or that sort of thing. They're usually really functional and not a lot of aesthetics in their design. This is the beach where the turtles will lay their eggs, and then once the eggs hatch, the little babies will crawl off into the water here, and the water will push them forward so they'll be swimming in this area here. Got a line of hoppers here so that when they grow up and they drop their scoot, this will pick it up. Now, adult turtles will have the ability to climb up over this. This will end up having some pistons that'll close this, and when we open it, the turtles can come and go as they please, and then when we close it, the baby turtles will be stuck in here. One thing we do have to be mindful of is zombies. Zombies, for whatever reason, hate turtle eggs, and if this wall is not tall enough, the zombies will just come in and stomp on our eggs. So I've got the pistons in, and when I pull this lever, this will close the gates here, open it, and they can get back out. I think I'm going to lower this wall by 1 and then put slabs on top here so that things still can't get in, and then also things can't spawn on top of the wall. That is basically a functional turtle farm at this point. I found some turtles pretty far away. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get these guys to lay some eggs. then we'll pick up the eggs and we'll take them back to our farm. There we go. Perfect. So if we plant our eggs here, once they mature, we'll get the baby turtles out there and then we can collect the scoot. I was thinking about it just a little bit, and I think I might just build a real quick building here so we have somewhere to collect the turtle eggs and somewhere to hang out while we're, breeding them and keep the materials and all that. Well, here's our little turtle farm outpost. Iron farm's right over there. We'll end up with a nice path that comes down here. Inside, I want to have a place for the scoot to collect using hoppers and that sort of thing. A little side door so we can come out here and feed the turtles. Maybe we'll put a bed in here and some other decoration as well. There we have it. Got our turtle farm, little outpost next to the turtle farm. Kind of straightened out the beach a little bit so it looks a little nicer. Again, hopefully we can do some sort of path or something here and maybe a few other structures throughout. I started to kind of close off the area using leaves so that mobs are kind of limited in their ability to get to me. Still some work to do there. Inside, not much going on, really. This is connected to the turtle farm. So if the young turtles turn into adults and drop their scoot, it will get moved into this barrel right here. This barrel is just holding some seagrass and some other things. Got a bed and a crafting table. And that's it. I think it looks real nice. And like I was saying, I hope we can come up with a couple other things that we might be able to add to this area so we have kind of this little woodsy place that we can visit. Last thing I want to do today is make some more progress on the north end of our waterfront project. Between episodes, I did 3 things. One is I changed the top of this building. I used to have a log up here to cap off the building, and I did slabs instead, and I think it looks a lot better. Second thing I did is I added some stuff to the dock, like we've got some freight sitting out here. I think it looks pretty cool and adds some extra light as well. And then finally, I started to map out a little bit of a diagonal here. I was watching my buddy Frolic131's video where he was doing a world tour, and he has a building that is built diagonally. And that got me thinking, maybe I could do something like that, like a little bit of a building built on the diagonal. I've never really tried that before. So thank you for the inspiration, and hopefully that works out. Today I want to see how much of this I can get done. Well, I am struggling with this a little bit. I actually built all 4 buildings and tore them back down, so I'll keep working on it. Well, it turns out this is a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, but we got a lot done. We've got these 4 buildings that are all kind of like row houses. They're all stuck together and their roofs are going to all kind of connect at the top there. Tried to make them similar, but, you know, unique enough that they kind of didn't all look the same. So we used some different materials. I've got the brown terracotta, the stripped birch, brick, and then sandstone. A really peaked roof on this one, and then a sideways roof on this one over here. Obviously, they're just facades right now, and there's definitely a lot more detail that we could do on here. But it is definitely a start, and you can kind of get a feel for what this is going to be like once we get them all put together. Geez. And I think that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.